Looking at it is all a big ridge made of rubbish, well, debris. Beautiful garden here to the left, which is one of the most important used for medicine. And still till today, this is where the botany department of Edinburgh University has their important teaching base as well. So we have the botanical gardens, then right next door we have Inverleith Park. You see this huge green. Strange in Edinburgh, we have 25% of school students go to a private schools. Academy is there as well. So, you know, your kids can go there, you don't have to pay anything. You just have to live in the local area. But since this is I mean, you know, this could give you a little bit of an insight into our British, you know, private school system. Of course you grow up thinking you're better than other people if you go to a school like that. And of course she was a suffragist, so she campaigned together with her sister. Apartments here, what we call tenements area. And because this was the part of town where only the wealthy were living, it meant that we ended up with a concentration of quite important people. So this is where Robert Louis Stevenson, the author, grew up. Now, he was born in 1850 closer to the Botanic Gardens in Inverleith, and then when he was 7 years old they moved up to this house, and this is where he grew up. The further developments, the northern parts of the new town. Now this is Hanover Street, called Sir Walter Scott. He sort of stage managed the big event, and George IV wore a kilt. Kilt was a wee bit on the short side, so he wore stockings underneath it to keep himself. Just to have an idea of what happened with the building, so what makes this look different. So the original Georgian townhouses have basements, and then the shop fronts have extended out over the basement areas. So Castle Street, because of the great view over of these three parallel streets that make up the first new town, huge, enormous squares. A man called Alexander Graham Bell was born, and then a single palace facade, so very, very elegant, and this, you know, set a new style. Remember trumpets right at the bottom of the legs. Can you see? So these townhouses have been divided up floor by floor. Those are fantastic flats or apartments to have, and in fact they're taller than the ones that we've already. They said, oh, it's all very elegant, but it's a bit plain. The right hand side, Simpson House, is now owned by the Church of Scotland, but that was the private house of a doctor who was based. Castle is from down here, and this is Princes Street, the Royal Scottish Academy, and the one at the back is the National Gallery of Scotland as well. We're a literary city as well. In fact, since 2004, the volcano that created all the volcanic hills around Edinburgh into a music school. But we did think this might become our Parliament building, and then we changed our mind and spent £500 million on a building that people did. By the same architect as the Royal High School, a man called Thomas Hamilton. Hill area. It gets its name from an abbey that was built down here. It's the part from the 1500s, so that's one of the older rated Holyrood Palace. So inside the rooms that you can visit, it's all there in the 1700s. A man called James Hutt series of this. The stag's head, the antlers and the cross between the antlers, so it's remembering the vision. Outlander fans, this is Street. Just a beautiful street, and that little square building there on the right was a well, 100 years old. Apparently the cellars are absolutely full of ghosts, and it's where Robert Burns said farewell. But Glasgow is always than Edinburgh, so he's our, you know, our Edinburgh actor.
You are. I left. Oh, and you were done. Oh, this is good. All about the Edinburgh military tattoo. And a man called Thomas Randall, who was a professor of
Edinburgh Castle is one gun inspired.
Late 1700s, between here and the water, there was nothing. There was no Edinburgh. There were farms.
You want to see one of these two museums? Huh? You want to see one of these two things? Fox Gate.
The tricky question is because you're making it cool. But we have 10 now.
Whatever their period is. You can go and ask them questions about it and they know all their period.
Chapel of St. Margaret.
So that's the actual where we are right now.
Crown Square.
And the army.
Nice building, isn't it? They did it well.
Beautiful.
Or something.
Got one?
This one hasn't got any people. What is this one?
Yeah, so we did that, and then we went.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
yes. That's for making photos.
Ah, cool.
This one, my...
Sometimes you think it would be lovely without all the people. You know what you have to do? You have to come to these places.
It's a little bit of door for a lot of people.
That's the portcullis, isn't it?
This is Skinner's Close, off the Royal Mile.
You wouldn't know, you would know.
It is, they know exactly. Right, too much. Most historic houses.
She told us about the hill.
that they'll be able to really easily convert it because they are technically funded by taxpayers' money. And so although they do bring in an income for the country because they open up all the houses for visitors and charge ticket prices and
Same thing, put it on my wrist. The Admiral's Pantry. The officer's cabin. The Admiral's night cabin. This is the veranda deck.
We are a photo.
Petty officers, mess. Royal Marines.